Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 645 for the 30th of November. Today is the 1st of December. We have now entered the final month of 2023. And in Ukraine is currently raining Lancets. There is way too many Lancet reports that is really hard to ignore, and all these reports comes with videos. And just this is something that I just want to highlight. So we have a drone strike basically at a Kryvyi Rih air base at Dokintsevo, and basically a Sukhoi 25 attack aircraft was destroyed on the ground. And this is actually very far away from the front line. As you can imagine, this is also not the first time that the drone strike actually hit that far away. It's around it's somewhere 70 kilometers away from the front line. Yeah, 70 kilometers away from the front line. And this is not the first time, as I just mentioned. Although the Sukhoi 25 is a bit weird. There is some legitimate reasons to be suspicious about the aircraft, whether it's actually a decoy or is it an actual Sukhoi 25. But the key point is not that. The key point is there's just so many Lancet drones. So drone strike. So this is one of them. Another one actually hits the artillery over here, near in the north of Tyakhinka, and this is actually comes after another hit of the artillery over in the northern part of Tyakhinka. This is like yesterday. There's one, so now we have another one. And then on top of that, we have another report of this drone strike, Lancet drone strike over here in the north of Zolota Neva, in near to Velika Novoselka. Again, another artillery hit by Lancet. So this is just a few of the many Lancet strikes that has been registered in Ukraine, and this is confirmed because due to video footage, and it's the Ukrainians basically have no means of stopping all these Lancet attacks. Basically, if the Lancets are used on the Russians, I think the Russians will also have problems dealing with it. And this is on top of Russian airstrikes where they use glide bombs, the FAB 250 or the 500s. That is raining airstrikes all over the Ukrainian front line. And also on top of that, we see the return of the Grads. We see the return of tornadoes. We see the return of Iskander, and then we also have this ridiculous high rate of Q with the air defense system, probably the S-400 with the help of AWACS aircraft in some kind of a new communication systems that allows them to take down aircraft at a higher efficiency rate. And before that, there was a high efficiency rate of shooting down aircraft by the air-to-air fighters, the air superiority fighters. So all this is adding up. Things is getting really ridiculous, and the narrative over in the West is now breaking. That even Zelensky is talking about they are losing on. They are not going to not succeed in the battlefield tentatively. They cannot break through the fortified lines by Zelensky himself. So things is getting really bad. And although Zelensky also did mention that they will not go into peace talk unless the Russians withdraw. So, he's dreaming. And so this is something that I want to talk about. The Lancets are going to be a massive problem because Lancets can really go into the rear. It can hit literally anything. And it's probably, even more efficient than a HIMARS strike. Because for HIMARS, you still need a drone or some kind of satellite imagery to help you determine the target. But Lancet themselves have camera, so that makes all the difference. And basically it's just as effective. So yeah, so take it the way any way you want. I'm just telling you that's the reality on the ground. It's not a pro-Russian, pro-Ukrainian position. It's the real position. And over in the Kherson Front, we still have further reinforcement coming into Krinky. The Ukrainian forces is not willing to give up this beachhead as they landed to another detachment in via boats into Krinky as they continue to make this push south, trying to expand the control around Krinky. Russians also counterattack around this region here. So we have geolocation of shelling over on some Ukrainian forces. They're trying to evacuate as they try to redraw out the injured and casualties away from this region, or maybe it's just rotation. So no, but they got struck by Russian artillery, and this is extremely disastrous for the Ukrainians. So, but we shall continue to monitor. Who knows, this all this disastrous or bad situation is just me interpreting the information wrong. Maybe the Ukrainians are winning right now. So just for balancing purpose, Slava Ukraini. And okay, so that's all from the Krinky region, and that's all from the Kherson Front. We move into the Zaporizhzhia Front. So this is Zaporizhzhia. At the Zaporizhzhia Front, the Ukrainian forces launched more attacks over in the Verbove region, and this time around they are hitting towards the north of Verbove as well. Information coming from the pro-Russian sources talking about this push. There is, however, geolocation of Ukrainian forces rotating, getting hit by artillery over here. Further geolocations further up north, just southwest of Novoporovska, continue to confirm that the Ukrainian forces have this position over here. This is previously geolocated before. Similarly, this geolocation of them getting shelled, so it's the same. Russian forces are also attacking. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, they say that the Russians are attacking west of Verbove. So this comes after Ukrainians are attacking further up north, whereas the Russians are also attacking towards Robotine, as per information coming from the Ukrainians. So we shall continue to monitor and see how these developments go. I'm just a bit surprised that the Ukrainians attack towards Novoprokopivka was not repeated. Previously, they was attacking the north of Novoprokopivka. The fact that they stopped is pretty concerning, I would say, because strategically speaking, I don't think the Ukrainians should go for Verbove anymore, because I don't think they have the means to do it. I think holding the line might work, and then I think the priority should be going westward and to secure some kind of a better buffer zone for Robotine. But whatever it is, this is the situation the Ukrainians have decided to put themselves into. So yeah, I mean, if you just look at the front line, this is horrible, right? This, I use another color. I mean, this salient here is just untenable. So if they take Verbove, you can see that the Russians still have this position. I mean, this is just not a good place to be in. So the best way is actually to go towards this side, capture Kopani, straighten the line, and maybe attack from the into the rear of Nesteryanka. So I think this this way, I think this, and then straighten the front line makes more sense. And somehow the Ukrainians decided to attack this way. For me, it just makes no strategic and tactical sense. But the Ukrainians know better. Have faith in the AFU. And moving on, we go into the Velika Novosilka sector. We have nothing over here. Surprisingly, we don't. For the first time in a long time, we don't have information at Velika Novosilka. Clearly, just now I already mentioned the drone strike, the Lancet hitting a firing position, artillery system, I believe. So, and that's it from the Zaporizhzhia Front. We move into the Donetsk Front, into the Donetsk region. At the Donetsk Front, we have some fighting reported at Mikhailsk, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. There was some attack around this area here. They're attacking the Air Assault Brigade. No, sorry, wrong. They're attacking Mikhailsk is the 128th Territorial Defense. So the Russians are making some push around here. They are also pushing in this direction from Soloke towards Konstantinivka and towards Novomikhailivka. And in their report, they also shelled Antonivka. So there is some kind of activity around this region here. We shall continue to monitor and see how big is this. The fact that we don't have information from the OSIN makes it really hard to determine what is exactly happening. This is the wrong color. Why is it this color? Yeah. And then so in Marinka, we also have the continuation of the usual. No, it's not continuation of the usual. It's the Russian Defense Ministry reporting that the Ukrainians are attacking Marinka. And surprisingly, we do not have a report from the Ukrainian side saying the Russians are attacking. So this is interesting. So, but I don't think this is going to mean much. Marinka, as I shown in the video footage before, It's a very flattened and but heavily fortified with it's a death trap basically. So I don't think we should expect much from there. We move over at the Avdiivka front. Over at the Avdiivka front, we have the continuation of the Russian Avdiivka offensive as usual in the south of Novokalinove towards Stepove, over at the south of Avdiivka, Chervene, Tonenke, as well as Perverted. So this is still a continuation of what we already know that the Russians are doing. So this is a continuation. We don't have much new reports that of significance. Geolocation of Ukrainian forces operating at Berdaichi and Stepove there was a geolocated by Creamy Caprice, this two location. But the only significance was, I see from Deep State UA, the pro-Ukrainian source have mapped that the Russians have a foothold in Stepove. Basically, they have taken half or more than half of Stepove, and I think in no time the Russians is going to capture Stepove, and they can actually plant the flag, and this is a Vietnamese flag. So anyway, that's all from Avdiivka front. I think Stepove might be going to fall for real, because previously we have all these reports about Russians maybe capturing Stepove or attacking into Stepove, and apparently all this information is not seemingly very accurate coming from the pro-Russian side. So accusation from the pro-Ukrainian side about the Russians, the Russian side putting out fake news or inaccurate information do have some basis, because even for a well-regarded OSIN like Ryba also make a lot of mistakes from here and now and then. But the reason why I still continue to use them and respect them a lot is because I don't think they meant it. They didn't mean to make the mistakes. That's a feeling I get. For example, Deep State UA is the same. I don't think that they mean to keep back certain information. Maybe they just don't have the information, because everybody operates in some kind of a philosophy. Like I have my own philosophy on the mapping, the Deep State UA have their own, and then the Ryba have their own, and then sometimes Ryba maybe trusted the wrong sources, given them false information, and they reported it and then turned out to be wrong. So that happens. But I think the genuinity, I'm not sure if that is even a word. I think whether they really comes from the heart, they are trying their best. I think that's important. So over at the New York front, this is New York. At the New York front, the Ukrainian forces are reportedly attacking in the area of Pivdene towards Holivka. This is reported by Ryba. They say that the Ukrainians are advancing in the direction of Holivka, drawing attention of the Russian troops. I actually used the wrong color. The Ukrainians are attacking towards Holivka, drawing attention of the Russian troops to try to meet them or make sure that this does not become a thing. There's some development just nearby here in the area of Mayos. Ukrainian forces is geolocated just off Mayos. So this town here is Mayos. It's a very important town. Actually, the town actually stretches further due to this junction around here, and this road leads up to Bakhmut, and this is very, very important road. I think it's a major communication artillery, and the Russian artillery actually shelled Ukrainian forces over at this position, and this is actually very surprising, because previously what we understood is that the Russians have this position around here. So now, which means that the Ukrainians in the course of their battles have actually advanced further and coming basically to the edge of Mayos. If battle goes into Mayos, I think it will be pretty significant, because like I say, the strategic importance of this town cannot be underestimated. As you can see, the road comes through Holivka, leading up all the way to Bakhmut. This is Bakhmut. So this is why this is very important. Moving into the Bakhmut front. At the Bakhmut front, the Russian forces continue their Bakhmut offensive in the south as usual. Klishchiivka and Avdiivka. Still no more news about Kudyomivka. And one additional new report is from Ryba talking about fighting in the north of Klishchiivka in the dominant heights. Basically, it's in this region here. The Russians are attacking in this area here in the north of Klishchiivka. So they are clashed with the Ukrainians. So let's see how this goes, as the Ukrainians definitely are not going to let them pass. Losing the heights means losing Klishchiivka. So because this entire area here is the high ground. So yeah, so this is I don't think the Russians will just overrun the Ukrainians so easily. Over at the northern flank of the Bakhmut Front, the Russians have captured Kromove as per reported yesterday. There's no indication to show that the Ukrainians have resisted the capture. And Ryba have continued and said that after capturing Kromove, they are now moving northward along the highway. The Russians are now pushing in this direction along the highway. So this is currently happening. And this will eventually meet with the push further up north over in the area of the Bakhmut reservoir. So this is the Bakhmut reservoir. The Russians are also making a push in this direction. So this is likely to end up in some sort of a pincer, in a way that will take out this Ukrainian stronghold around here. So this attack over at Avdiivka was also acknowledged by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Ryba actually is a bit more specific, mentioned about the battle is from the Bakhmut reservoir, trying to seize some high ground around the eastern part of Avdiivka. So that's it from this area here in Bakhmut Front. We move into Sivers. There's nothing at Sivers. We move into Kreminna Front. This is Kreminna. At the Kreminna Front, Ukrainian forces was reportedly attacking over the Yampolivka region, while the Russians are attacking in Torske and within the Serebranske forestry. So nothing very significant to dwell about over in this area here. We move further up north. There is geolocation of Ukrainian forces getting airstrike in the area of Nevsky. So over here, the Russians airstrike them. Nothing very, very significant. It just shows Ukrainians are there. Over at the Svatove Front, Russian forces were reportedly attacking in the area of Stemekivka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So so there's nothing much to talk about there. We move into Kupyansk Front. So this is a Kupyansk city. Over at the Kupyansk Front, the fighting here is now not reported around in the Ivanivka region. The past 24 hours, the Russian push is concentrated over at Liman-Pershi, Sinkivka, and the Petropolivka region. And for the first time, we have corroboration of the Ukrainians talk about fighting in the Petropolivka region by Ryba. The pro-Russian source talked about this. They said that the Russian forces are attacking towards Petropolivka, east of the village of the Stavok. So one of these places. So they are moving in this area here. Stavok, I think it's a valley. I cannot remember what's the meaning of Stavok. Yeah, so geolocation of Russian forces just south of Vyshana was geolocated. Some Russian offensive and geolocation of some wreckage of the Russian equipment. There could be a possibility that the Ukrainian front line is actually here. So just to take note that the Ukrainian front line might actually be further up due to this geolocation, but it's not very indicative. So no, I didn't move the front line as a result. Ukrainian forces, according to the Russians, were counter-attacking over in the Sinkivka region. So that's about it. It's a pretty usual thing to see on this side. And then I think Surya Maps reported that the Russians are back into the outskirts of Sinkivka, but we already know that due to the geolocations of this Ukrainian tank shooting at the ground in the area of Sinkivka, in the northern part of Sinkivka. Also, another interesting thing is Liman-Pershi. The name by the Russian Defense Ministry, they wrote Liman-Pervi. So this is actually a perverted alignment. So it's a perverted alignment. So just to be careful. If you are feeling very vulnerable, don't go there. So that's it from the Kupyansk Front, and that's it. This is the summary for the day of 645 for the 30th of November. Press the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next update.